Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Stewart here at Harris Academy Morden. I'm the coordinator of PSHE, RSHE, SMC and Wellbeing here at the school. I'm just going to run you through our PSHE and RSC program. Okay, so this presentation here is an introduction and an overview of the amazing work that we run here at Harris Morden, effectively to safeguard your children and prepare them for life in the real world. It will also highlight our responsibilities as educators and your responsibility as a parent or a carer. On the screen, there are some hyperlinks to some of the key documents I'll be speaking about today. They are on the school website, but you are able to access them as well. Okay, so as you know, as a key role here at Harris Morden, we promote personal well-being and your child's personal development through a really quite comprehensive PSHE program, and it is an curriculum area that provides your children with the knowledge and the understanding, the attitudes and the practical skills to ultimately live a healthy, productive and safe life in school and outside of school in the real world. The aim of our relationships, sex and health education program is aligned with that, and we are like teaching your children to prepare themselves for life in the real world and to keep themselves and other people around them and really safe. The aim of our RSHE program is not to encourage young people to become more sexually active at a young age. It is not to promote a particular sexual orientation or gender identity, and it is not aimed at sexualizing young people. We're providing them with information that they need in their lives to make the positive choices as they move through our school and beyond. So we offer an all-inclusive education policy here, where all students are involved in our RSHE program, irrespective of their special educational need or if they're new to English. We are really quite strict on how students handle themselves around school, and like homophobic language, transphobic or anything like that in and around school is not accepted. But what we want to really kind of reinforce is that our RSHE programs is respectful of all students, irrespective of their background at home, and ultimately we're trying to promote respect and understanding between our students and the wider public, and also while respecting all religions and cultures. So just kind of re-emphasizing that the special educational needs of all our students are catered, are planned for and are catered for in our programs. All of these programs are run by their tutors, and their tutor knows them and the best out of all of the staff members, and are able to differentiate our programs effectively, and it has been working really well over the past few years, and we are always working to move beyond and maintain our outstanding provision. Just kind of re-highlighting as well that in our last Ofsted we were graded as outstanding, with some real referencing to our safeguarding of young people in schools. I've hyperlinked as well the Ofsted report if you wanted to have a read of that in your own time. But Ofsted were in our school. They evaluated all our RSC and PSHE programs, and as a school in all areas we were rated as outstanding. Okay, so just kind of reinforcing the fact that what we run in school is supported with research which was run by the government. So in November 2021 they released this research paper highlighting the how RSE is taught in school, and through speaking with students. So it's like real world feedback that was received that helped us to further improve our provision. So what the research highlighted is that that students thought that school lessons are the best place to be learning about relationship health and sex education, and our students as well also believe this. School lessons on RSE were seen as useful in preparing young people for adult life and their own relationships in school and beyond. So just kind of reinforcing that it is a program which we run in school that we are really really proud of, and our students agree that it is a great program. Just to kind of reinforce on the other end of that research, that it was highlighted that young people who did not receive RSE in schools were ultimately more likely to take more sexual risks, you know, at a young age is obviously not what we'd like our young people to be doing, and unprotected sex and the contraction of STIs were also higher amongst those that had not received the RSE program in schools. Right, a question to pose really. Does your child have access to either a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop at home? If that is the case, then a program like ours and integrated whole school age specific approach to RSE is paramount. I mean, do you really know what your children are able to access online on their smartphones if they're out of the house? Unfortunately, even if you are able to add on some age specific locks on to your Wi-Fi or onto a laptop or to a smartphone, it is relatively easy to have a look online to see how it is or how easy it is to remove these locks, and therefore allowing your children to be viewing content online that they may not understand, and then obviously could impact them as they move through life. We obviously in school are able to monitor everything that is on all of our computers through a program called Securus. So it is confirmed that our students aren't able to access any of this material on our computers or on laptops. There's also a lot of information on the internet that isn't true, and as educators, we are the trained specialists to ensure that the information that your children and our students are receiving is true. It is accurate, and we really pride ourselves in providing a professional, supportive, and ultimately a really a learning environment that is open and really safe for your children. And the aim of all of these programs is to prepare your children for life in the real world, providing them with the knowledge to make the right life choices while they're in our school and after they have left us here at House Morden. All right, heading on to the RSE statutory requirements. So it is a legal requirement that all schools in England have an RSE program, and it is taught in all schools across England, and therefore we are legally required to use this program and teach it. So as of 2020, is kind of reinforcing this. All schools are required to have an RSHE program, and in these programs, it's also stipulated on the content that is taught, and it is a legal requirement for all schools to prepare young people for life outside of school and as they grow older. In the guidance, it's asking all schools to provide high quality, evidence-based, age-appropriate teaching. The program must be appropriately sequenced. It has to have the key building blocks of healthy, respectful relationships. It has to teach mental well-being, how students can take care of themselves if problems arise, to teach children how to improve their well-being and resilience. And our program is an amazing program, and we meet all of these requirements, and we go beyond these. After that program was the statutory requirements were released in February of last year, there was another document that was released about how to plan your relationships, sex and health curriculum, where through a range of Ofsteds in other schools, Ofsted had to kind of re-clarify some specific areas highlighted there in green. I can confidently highlight that even prior to this report, we already had these in our program, and as I have repeated and I will repeat, we are really proud of the RSE program which we run in school, which is age appropriate. It is preparing our young students for life in the real world. And just also highlighting there in red as well, here at Harris Morden, we have a zero tolerance to any of the behaviours highlighted, and we always have done. So it has always been part of our behaviour policy, but I'm just kind of highlighting the research that has been released, and reassuring you that even prior to this, we had these in school and our RSHE programs. So RSE is also out of the PSHE curriculum, is also taught in the national curriculum of science in both Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, and these are also statutory areas. But they're also areas that, and I'll kind of highlight this a little bit more later on, if you did choose to remove your children out of the RSE curriculum, although only a small area is allowed, an area where which you cannot be removed from is the national curriculum for science, which highlights on the screen now these specific areas where it is more cross-curricular. However, your children cannot be removed from these areas. Okay, so what are our legal requirements? We have to teach relationships education, so that is compulsory. We have to teach sex education. We have to teach health education, and that is all involved in our PSHE program, which is really closely linked with our PSHE program. On the screen now, Scott, just highlighting that if you did choose to remove your child from our the element which is classed as sex education, it is your choice. However, your child can override your choice, so 3 terms before they are 16. So pretty much, and they could override you or your choice in that from year 10, and that would be their choice to make. So and they could choose to then attend lessons or not to. Okay, so how just reinforcing, so if you chose to remove your child from our sex education element of the RSE program, you as a parent and the carer would then be expected to teach this at home. So it's a statutory requirement that all students in England have this. Obviously, we are the specialists. We create, these extremely welcome and safe learning environments for your children. But if you choose to have them removed out of the sex education element, you would have to then teach this at home. If we had an Ofsted in school, there is a chance they might ask you what you have been teaching at home if you chose to have your child removed out of the program. Okay, so what we class as sex education is linked with the Jigsaw program that we run, that I'll highlight a little more about a little bit later on. And the SEF, so the Sex Education Forum, class sex education, as it's highlighted on the screen now, so it is learning about the physical and the social and the legal and emotional aspects of human sexuality and behavior, including human reproduction. So it includes information on conception, safer sex, STIs and sexual health. So the SEF have been around for quite a while, from 1987, and are a well established community of experts. So we agree with that. However, I'm going to highlight in a minute that, and there's one area that that we do not agree with, which would mean that that as a school we don't believe we would be safeguarding all of our students if a small number of students were then removed out of the RC program. So as highlighted on the screen now, we agree with almost all of the SEF's classification of sex education, apart from being safe subpoint 1. And what that states is that the concepts of and the laws relating to sexual consent, sexual exploitation, abuse, grooming, coercion, harassment, rape, domestic abuse, honour-based violence, FGM, and how that can impact a relationship. If you chose to remove your child from the sex education element, then your child would not be taught about any of these areas. We as a school believe that is not adequately safeguarding your child and the other children that they are in the school environment with. So we're not classing this as sex education, and that means that all students will be taught about all of the elements highlighted here in green. So yeah, just kind of re-emphasizing that we are not classing what is on the screen now as sex education. It has been reclassed as relationship education, because we're trying to teach our students what a healthy relationship is and how to appropriately treat other people of the same gender or other genders. And if your child was removed from this aspect, we don't believe that your child and the other children in the academy would be appropriately safeguarded. So these are the areas where in the RSE program, the areas in green there, all of our students will be taught this, irrespective of if they're in or out of the sex education elements. So it's all about families, respectful relationships, and then the red areas are the areas where they would be removed from. So there'd be approximately 9 outcomes of the 37 aspects of the RSE curriculum that is classed as sex education, that if you chose to remove your child, and we would strongly recommend that you do not remove your child from the sex education program, as it is an integral part of safeguarding your child both in school and out of school and as they mature. Areas which are statutory and you cannot be removed from are linked with mental health and well-being, using the internet appropriately, health and fitness, healthy eating, information and relating to drugs, alcohol and tobacco, health and prevention, so preventing lifestyle diseases, and first aid, and then like how humans change as they progress into and out of puberty. Okay, so how do we deliver our RSE programs? We have enrolled the academy for a few years now in the Jigsaw PSHE program, which covers all of the PSHE curriculum and all of the RSHE statutory curriculum, but also it moves beyond that. It is a holistic and highly integrated program. It's age appropriate, so it's run in tutor groups, so all of the students are receiving age appropriate materials with other students of the same age group, just re-emphasizing that it is age appropriate material, and the person who delivers this is the tutors, and it is highly recommended that it is tutors that run these programs, and in other schools, as the tutor is the staff member that really understands and really knows your child. They spend at least half an hour with your child every single morning as they arrive into school. They are and the first person that meets and greets them, and the relationships that are created with tutors in school are incredibly strong, and as they progress through school are reinforced as well. So the tutor runs these programs. The environment is a strong, respectful and incredibly safe learning environment. To help prepare our tutors, we run a quite in-depth training program here in school. So we have a specialist in who trains all of our staff members how to deliver the Jigsaw program effectively. I also run a training event with all of our staff members every half term, We also have drop-in events for staff who may feel less confident in specific areas, and I'm able to help and support them. We have each half term the staff are evaluated on their understanding of the content as well, and we also have our SLT who run learning walks during the tutor program to make sure that the content has been delivered in the correct and appropriate and professional way. So you may not have heard of the Jigsaw program, so I'm just going to kind of introduce you to how the Jigsaw program runs. It's more than a scheme of work. It's a whole school kind of ethos of how to teach young people to be safe both in school and out of school. It's split into jigsaw pieces, which on the left of your screen now are being me in my world, and then each of these lasts for one half term, and then it's a spiral style curriculum where all of the information highlighted on the screen now is taught and then recovered. So relationships and sex education, health education, bullying, personal safety, like in school and online, mindfulness, emotional literacy, mental health. So it is, it is an incredible program that is run in all tutor groups, in all year groups across the whole school. And it's trying to really empower our students to provide them with the knowledge and the understanding. So outside of the educational environment, your children are able to use the knowledge that they have expanded through our school years to be making the correct and the right and the safe choices as they progress into young adults. How we run our programs, so we've got what's called the Jigsaw Charter, so all students are aware that it's okay not to know all of the answers, that we don't ask really quite personal questions, to use the correct names for the parts of the body, so no slang names, so we're all clear on the anatomical makeup of the human body. It is also reinforced to be respectful of other people, in a tutor group, across a year group, across a cohort, across the whole school, and we obviously understand that confidentiality is also a key part of it. So yeah, just kind of reminding you here that it is a spiral curriculum. So what that means is, all, as an example, in Autumn 1, so from the start of school up until the first half term, all tutor groups in all year groups are in the Being Me in My World jigsaw piece, and then as we move through the school year, each of the year groups move on to the next one. However, it is all age appropriate. It is specifically aimed at one year group and is age appropriate content and references and materials. On the screen now is just kind of an overview of what is in each of the jigsaw pieces and when they are taught. So on the far left, kind of Autumn 1, Autumn 2, Spring 1, Spring 2, right the way through to the end of the school year, and the name of the piece, and then on the right hand side, a rough overview of the and the content. There's a more expanded version of this on our school website, where it highlights what is taught in each year group, in each of the lessons. So you are free to have a look and read through that as well. Just to highlight that most of the statutory health education is in the Healthy Me aspect. Most of the statutory relationships education is in the relationships jigsaw piece, along with a small amount of the sex education, and then that expands into the changing me element as well. Okay, so just to conclude, so the RSHE program is a statutory subject which all schools must run. We are incredibly proud of ours. It is an outstanding program that continues to prepare your children for life, both in school and out of school, but also as they grow older and move out of our school. It provides them with the knowledge, the understanding, the attitudes, the practical skills to leave our school and have a healthy and productive life, and ultimately for them to reach and achieve their potential. In school, we provide a huge level of support from the tutors to the coordinators to the assistant principals. We're all involved in this program and are supportive of it. Our staff are trained to run the program, and it is regular and consistent training to ensure it is all up to a high standard that is then checked through SLT learning walks. And ultimately, we are incredibly proud of the fact that we are preparing your children for life in the real world, because they could learn a lot of incorrect information on the internet purely by just researching themselves, and without the help and the guidance that we provide them, the information that they would be receiving would not be accurate, and then it could lead to them making the wrong choices, which then could ultimately impact them as they grow older. So that brings our presentation to an end. I've got my email address up on the screen now, so if you wanted to email me specifically to ask me any extra questions, you are more than welcome to. But I just want to really kind of reinforce that we are incredibly proud of our program. It is preparing our students for life out there in the real world. I wish you a pleasant evening, and yeah, and that is the end of our presentation.